of pre-licensing. He is our 2017 North Carolina Real Estate Educators Association Instructor of the Year. I give you Mr. Travis Everette.
How are we today? Everybody as excited to be here as I am today? Well, as Lynn alluded to earlier, when he called me, and first of all, if I could give you one piece of advice, if Lynn calls you, send it to voicemail. There must be. There has to be. But Lynn asked me if I would do a presentation, and I said, well, sure, what kind of topic would you like? And he said, why don't you talk to them about what you have learned while teaching real estate in North Carolina? And I said, Lynn, you know, I've been to several of these conferences. Best I remember, they're only 2 days long. Exactly how long is this one going to be? Because if I have to get up there and tell them everything I've learned while I was teaching, then clearly you have some high expectations of what I knew when I started, because I didn't know much. But after I sort of giggled at him a little bit, I just decided I'd get up here and share with you what I think are the big takeaways from teaching for me. You know, I want to answer Lynn's question, actually. I think I'd like to start out. He had that big why up there, and we heard some incredibly moving stories earlier about that, about the why I teach. I'm going to tell you honestly why I teach. I found the only group of people I know of where you can be around 10 years and still be the youngest guy in the room. I mean, I'll just be honest with you about why here.
That worked for me until you came along.
But one of the things I have most certainly learned about teaching real estate in North Carolina is that the fountain of youth must exist. And it must exist in these refreshments they give us at these events over here. I really do truly believe that, because, you know, sometimes you have to be honest about the makeup of the room. And some of us have been teaching the mailbox rule since the mail was primarily delivered by these folks up here on the screen. And I include myself, by the way, at this point. But that's all right. You know, experience is a wonderful thing. Matter of fact, it's probably the best thing that we bring to our students on a day-in, day-out basis. You know, oh, sorry, I forgot to mention, you know, Lynn mentioned that our sponsors today are presenting the program, and so they decided to do some targeted ad placement over here for us. So I don't know what kind of algorithm they use to decide what ads show up, but we just have to roll with what we've got there. But the experience we bring to our students is amazing in this room. And I think that's exactly what they come to us for most of the time, is that experience, that longevity in the business. I mean, how many groups of people can honestly say that they have been taught the government rectangular survey by the guy who helped Thomas Jefferson write it in the first place? I mean, that's impressive, isn't it? You just don't get that level of expertise everywhere. But I have to be serious now. Lynn told me in advance not to be too funny, not to attempt to be too funny, because the minds in this room were just such great minds that if I got up here and I tried to be funny, it would be a waste of brain power for these folks, because when you have this kind of a group assembled, you really have to work hard. So I'm going to get to the meat of the presentation here. One of the things I have learned in all my years teaching real estate in North Carolina is that the regulators truly, truly are our friends. Now, I know we don't always feel, well, most of them are true. Like that one on the top right up there, you have to be real wary of that one over there. If you see her, just be careful what you say. Yeah, the 246. Y'all write that down, please. But they are truly our friends. I will be honest, and I think we've all been there. There was a time in my career as an instructor when if I got a message, if I walked back into my office and I looked down on the desk and there was a message and it said, Travis, Pam Rory from the North Carolina Real Estate Commission called. Can you call her back? I had a very vivid mental image that would pop into my head right about that time. I mean, it goes something like this. People stand in reverence of the relationship that we have with the Real Estate Commission here in North Carolina. I mean, they really do. The level of interaction that we have, the support that we get from them is just phenomenal. So we're never going to completely agree with everything they do. I think neither one of us would be doing our jobs if that were the case. Would y'all agree with that? But that doesn't mean they don't listen. There have been plenty of times when I was banging my head against the wall, and there was always somebody there willing to listen to those concerns, those frustrations, sometimes just be venting. And what I always came away with was the belief that they actually took what I was saying into consideration, that they weighed it out, and that they never felt like there was just this closed door policy. And I think we owe them all great thanks for that. I think we should give them a hand for our and that reminds me, Pam, I'm sorry. I borrowed Pam's pen earlier today. Let me give it back, because I'm terrible about forgetting to return things. Hold on just a second.
Big red one.
Yes, I told her I was having a course in this morning, and so I want to make sure she's got her pen back and ready to go. I think we've all experienced the wrath of the red pen over there. So what else have I learned while teaching real estate in North Carolina? Well, I've learned to not blame the fish. That sounds odd, and the picture looks odd. I mean, that's not a pleasant picture, right? If you walked up on this sort of a scene, and they have booby-trapped me here with this corded mic. If I don't fall down, it'll be a miracle before this is over. If you walked up on this scene, would you say, you know, those fish didn't do enough? They really should have worked harder. We told them, I warned them. Would we say any of those things? Here's the truth, though. Do your pre-licensing classes sometimes look like this school of fish? Mine have. There have been days when I have watched them flounder around, flop around, and I could have sworn they were taking their last breath while they were sitting in my class right in front of me. Bluntly, sometimes I wish they were taking their last breath. For being honest today. But we have to sometimes introspect. That's a 50-cent word. If I was in a pre-licensing class, I'd have to define it because they wouldn't know what I was talking about. But we've got to sometimes look at ourselves and ask ourselves, what are we doing to impact their environment? And what could we do to change it? Because if I walked up on this scene, the first thing I would say is, oh my God, what happened? Why? And more importantly, what in the world can we do to prevent it from happening again? See, that's the only way we get better as instructors, and I truly have learned that over the years, is I have to step back and be willing to admit that sometimes I caused them to flop and flail around, or at least I didn't help them from doing that as much as I possibly could. How about this quote right here? It says, experience is a hard teacher. She gives the test first and the lesson afterward. How many of us have experienced that as real estate instructors? I mean, there's an approval process, and we all went through it at some point. But I don't know about you all. The first time I walked in front of a pre-licensing class, it was a race to find out who knew more about the class, me or them. And so we sometimes get caught in that situation where we are learning by experience. And sometimes the lesson comes first. And then sometimes the test comes first. And for us, we have to be able to roll with those punches. That's okay. And it's okay to make mistakes. Because I really believe this as well. Your best teacher in anything is your last mistake. And sometimes their best teachers are their mistakes. In our classes, sometimes their best teachers are our mistakes. How many of you have a story that you tell about yourself in general brokerage when you just did something absolutely horrendous? And what do they remember when they come back to you years down the road? For me, it's about a refrigerator. My students, I wrote refrigerator into a contract in personal property one time. I didn't specify the kind of refrigerator. If you ever have your clients find a dorm refrigerator sitting in a house after closing, you don't forget that lesson. And my clients didn't get hurt because I paid for it. But you know what? My students have benefited more than anybody else because that mistake was the best teaching experience for me and for them. So let them learn from your mistakes. Don't be afraid of them. Embrace them. Get out there. Learn from those mistakes and move on. Now, what I have really learned is that our students really, really need us. I mean, how many of you have had students that you just thought, oh, Lord. Yeah, you're doing what? See, I'm lucky now. My office is on Navajo Drive. I'm across the street from the Real Estate Commission. I just routed them across the street. I just said, look, go over there and tell them you did that. See what they say about it. Tell them Travis sent you. They got a long little line out there to take a number. You know, it's like a deli. Serving them one at a time over there. But our students really do need us. And they need us for a variety of reasons. I have come to the conclusion that sometimes I have to diagnose full-on psychological disorders in class while I stand up in front. I'll tell you a story, and this is a true story. Years ago, I was teaching the BICAR class, not the current BICUP class that we have now, but the BICAR class. So, room full of brokers in charge. We would love to think they know something about agency. I didn't say they did know it, I said we would love to think they knew it. And I was teaching this class, and there was a reference to designated dual agency in the BICAR that year, and practicing designated dual agency within the firm. And so I just asked, show of hands, there was probably 20 bics in the room. Show of hands, how many of you practice designated dual agency in your firm? And probably 7 or 8 hands went up. And I just, as I am prone to do, kind of said, ma'am, how many agents do you have in your firm? And proud as she could be, she said, oh, it's just me. Now, I'm nice. I'm being nice, right? Be nice, Travis. Nice. So I tried to help her out. I said, no, just we're talking about designated dual agency, where one broker in the firm is designated to represent the buyer and only the buyer, and the other broker within the firm is designated to represent the seller and the owners. I'm trying to help the lady out, best I can here. I can't even get the description out of my mouth before she barks right back at me. Oh yeah, we love it. Now, folks, as an instructor, we are supposed to be able to maintain a poker face from time to time, right? And censor ourselves. I'm not always very good at it. I looked at her and said, "We who? You just said you were the only one there." And then I quickly realized I had done the wrong thing. Not because I embarrassed the lady, but because I was worried that there might be more than 2 of her in there, and I didn't want to find out what the other 6 looked like. I was envisioning Sybil going around in here. So what I have learned is that they may be crazy, but they at least they keep it interesting for us, don't they? There's never a dull day. There's always going to be that one in every room. And I love them because they make my day, honestly. I make sure to find out where they practice so I can warn anybody from buying a house in that area, but I love them in my classes. So what else have I learned? I learned that whomever came up with this expression that there are no stupid questions probably fell into that category themselves. Because I'm going to tell you, if you can't recognize stupid in some of the things that we hear in our classrooms, you never will in your life. I mean, would y'all agree that there are some fairly not smart things that come out of some of these folks' mouths? An understatement, as Kim said. No question about it. No question about it. But when that happens, and it's going to happen, there's no way around it. It's going to happen. They're going to say things that you just, you have that moment where you're like, oh my God, okay, well how do I regroup from that? You always want to steer them back in a positive direction. You want to thank them for the question, first of all. That's a DREI rule. You have to thank them. Thank you. Thank you for making the rest of us feel so much better about what we do know in real estate. See, you can always turn it around and be positive, right? But yes, there are some crazy, crazy questions. So this is one of those things that I always have in the back of my mind when I get one of those statements or one of those questions where I just have no earthly idea where it came from.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having this. And there will be no point, and may God have mercy on your soul.
So from now on, when you get that question, that's what's going to be running through the back of your mind all the time. And you know what? The good news is it doesn't matter that's running through your mind because they won't know clearly. If you're the one asking that question, they'll have no idea what you're thinking. One of the things I like to do in my pre-license class is a little math pre-test. Y'all, we're not supposed to say 4-letter words as instructors. Y'all know that, right? They get on us about that. That's an Eastern North Carolina expression, they get on us. If you're not from there, you won't know what I mean. But when we're not supposed, but math is a 4-letter word. Math is an ugly word in a pre-licensing class sometimes, right? So I have taken to giving my students a pre-math quiz. Now, we're not talking about net operating income here. We're talking about the basics. What is 3 times 2 type stuff. Because I just want to have an idea of where they're coming from and where I need to start. Because if they don't have any idea what a percentage is, do we have a problem that we need to address early and often in that particular class. And this is the only way I know how to do it, because those ones that are afraid of math, they will hide from you. And you stand in the room and say, is everybody okay? And yeah, they're all right. Yeah, they are. So here is one of the questions on my pre-math test, and I know it's sort of small for those of you in the back room, so I'm going to read it to you. If you are given a box with 100 mixed color balls and told that 26% of the balls are red, 22% of the balls are blue, 29% are yellow, with the remainder being assorted colors, how many red balls are in the box? I just want to know, do they have even a basic? I mean, they ask the calculators when they do this question, folks. Help me. And here is an answer that I got from a student a couple months ago to this question. 57,000. Which is an oddly specific number. And I said, okay, so I'm thinking to myself, I'm reading this, and I don't know whether to laugh, cry, pray, do all three. And I said, okay, so of 100 balls in the bucket, you think 57,000 of that 100 red. Okay? But what's great is, though, she did show her work. And do we appreciate when our students show that? So that we can help address the situation for them. So this is the first thing she wrote down with. She wrote 26 per penny. 26%. Now there's some rationale to that, ain't there? You know, if it's 26%, then there must be 26 red balls per penny. That's what she had written down on her worksheet here. And then she said there's 100 pennies on $1. And so she had multiplied 26 times 100, but that still only gets us to 2,600. That's a long shot from 57,000. And here's the whopper. I have $22. Now, I stared at this thing for a long time. And I did. I mean, I was trying, I didn't blame the fish, right? She get 22? I mean, where is the $22 coming with the questions? I thought, well, maybe she sees 22% of the balls are blue, and she thought that percent sign. Well, so I asked her. I made the cardinal mistake. I said, how did you come up with your answers? And you know that video I showed you was running through my mind when she was giving the answers. So I said, where did the $22 come from? She said, well, I had 25, but I stopped at the store on the way here. I got a bag of chips. She had $22 in her pocket, folks, and that apparently entered into this math equation for her. Now, you know, the interesting thing is, I don't even think I can make an argument with that logic, because she had thought this thing through so much that she might even be on a higher plane of math than I can comprehend. There's some sort of astrophysics going on here that I am not able to deal with. And so, just to show you how talented she truly is, I'll show you the next question and her answer to it. The next question is, if the home value at $150,000 increases in value by 10%, what is it now worth? Anybody want to take a guess at what her answer is going to be here? You mean you can't get in that line of thinking? $150,000 and 10 cents. At least her logic is consistent, right? And she has got these percentages nailed down. And then she left me with this. Smiley face. She's proud of these answers, y'all. I mean, she had done it up here. But you know, there is a moral to this story. The moral is you can't leave any of them behind. You cannot leave any of them behind. Because even this student, my understanding is she is one of the most talented auditors and investigators that the Real Estate Commission has working over there. I mean, she is heck of a trust account auditor. I mean, she does still have that little difficulty that she thinks co-mingling is what happens at the social event after, but they're working on it. They're getting there. shared a quote I don't like. Most presenters don't do that. Everybody who's incapable of learning has taken to teaching. Ugh. That's a gut shot, isn't it? I mean, that is just wrong in so many ways. Here's my challenge to you. Prove Oscar Wilde wrong. Don't be afraid to learn. Embrace those learning moments. We're all going to have them at the front of a room. I know I have been one to give wrong information in front of a classroom. And it's okay if you come back and fix it. Get that person's email them back and say, hey, you know what I told you the other day? That was not correct. Get better. Embrace learning. Become the learner-in-chief in your classroom. That's what I would challenge all of us to do. If we are experts in learning, then the teaching becomes so easy. It really does. I like this quote about teaching so much better. Lily Thomas says she likes a teacher who gives you something to take home to think about besides homework. Isn't that a great thought? That when they walk out of that room, give them something that changes their business. Because if you change their business, you change their life. You might keep them from getting in trouble with the Real Estate Commission. You might show them a better way to do something that they assumed could only be done in one way. Challenge them, meet them where they live, so to speak. Get into their mind and talk to them about the things that matter to them, and you will give them something to think about, and they will take so much away from your classes. And the last thing I want to share with you that I have learned as an instructor in this state is that I am part of the most amazing group of people that I could ever possibly imagine. We have so many dedicated professionals in this room. People who are willing to spend their time, their energy, their effort into making themselves better, into making us better. I've been the beneficiary of people who have reached out and said, you know, why don't you try to do it this way? That mentoring hand. And I know that all of you all have as well. I want to share something with you personally here, this is not something I planned to share, but it just struck me right now that I should because it fits with this slide. Earlier this year, I developed some very serious vision problems. I was completely night blind. I was unable to see almost anything at night. I could not drive at night. I couldn't drive to night classes. And it was people in this room who picked me up from that place. It was people in this room who volunteered, hey, do you need a ride somewhere? Do you need me to come get you at 10 o'clock at night after you have that pre-license class and take you home? Do you need me to cover your classes so that you can go to the doctor? And I don't mean just people within my own school. Bruce, Lynn, Spencer. These are people around the state who didn't have to, who cared. And that's indicative of the kind of people that we have in this room. And so I want to thank each and every one of you from the absolute bottom of my heart, because I could not be more proud and more honored to be a part of this group of people and this wonderful organization. And with that, I appreciate your time. And Glenn said I was supposed to release you for a break, so I am going to do that. Thank you very much, everybody.